things haven't gotten any easier for a Powell County dad after his daughter was murdered today. We talked with him after a third arrest was made in the case.
Lexington police have arrested a man accused of shooting his cousin. What they say led up to it.
We're bringing as many supplies as we can.
How a Harrison County animal shelter is trying to help Louisiana's four-legged flood victims.
This is WKYT News at 11.
Fall is in the forecast. Thanks for staying up with WKYT. I'm Kristen Kennedy. This morning, showers brought with them cooler temperatures, and it looks like those temperatures will stick around into the work week. We begin tonight with WKYT meteorologist Jim Caldwell and the no-wait weather forecast.
This is something you will want to wait and hang around for a while because it's going to feel pretty good. Already getting to that level tonight, and you probably noticed it this evening because early in the day we still had that humidity present in the air, and then it started to back off. We're down to 67 degrees in Lexington. Now keep in mind that on most mornings here recently we have started off 6, 7, 8 o'clock around 69, 70 degrees, maybe a little warmer at times. So this is a good sign, already dipping this low, showing 61 into Mount Sterling, 63 Danville, Somerset. That's a nice little air mass. Let's go hour by hour, and we are showing you tomorrow morning, and you see those 50s breaking out all over the place. That is going to have a little teeny tiny bite with it. I mean, that's cool compared to what we're used to, at least. Daytime highs tomorrow getting back into the 70s, probably close to 80 degrees. But again, it's not going to be the oppressive type because the humidity levels will remain on the low side. Our Defender Radar Network, quiet tonight. No showers, thunderstorms. Everything is smooth sailing for us, at least at the moment. But the focus of the forecast is our fall fling flies by this week because the humidity will storm back. And I will track it hour by hour coming up for you.
He says it is a pain that will never go away. It has been weeks since a man's daughter died near a cabin in Wolfe County. State police have charged 3 people with her murder. The latest charge came this weekend. State police arrested 31-year-old Carla Hunt in Bath County. She and 2 others are accused of killing Brandy Davidson and Devin Payton. WKYT's Caitlin Sentner is talking to Davidson's father in our top story at 11.
I was looking through them a while ago. Half of them's gone.
Gary Sell holds an old photo album close.
Brandy Nicole, I call her Cole, that was her nickname. That's Chuck E. Cheese, we're in Lexington, right there on the New Circle.
It's been a rough few months.
You know, I mean, some days are better than others. You know, but I mean, I wake up a lot. My kid's gone, you know.
Police say Brandy Davidson and Devin Payton were murdered. Their bodies found at the beginning of June.
Nobody could imagine looking at what I looked at when I seen her. Nobody wants to experience that pain. I mean, it's pain that never goes away. It's an image in my mind I'll never lose.
KSP still has an ongoing investigation into the murders. Police picked up Carla Hunt Friday. Now she, Eugene Wade, and Devontae Hall are charged in connection to the murders. Dad says he had a moment this weekend when he realized his 3-year-old granddaughter realized that her mom is gone.
Chloe had seen it on the news yesterday. She was laying in my lap, and I thought she was asleep. She said, "There's Mama." Man, it hurt so bad. I mean, to hear her say, you know, my mama had been killed.
He'll hold on to his pictures, but says nothing will fill the void.
But I know I want justice for her. They should never get out. Anything less than life, I mean, they ought to get the death penalty. The guy that pulled the trigger, point blank range on her head, should never get out. Think about what they've done to my kid. Think about what they've done to my grandbaby's mom. I mean, me and her was closer than anybody was, and I'll never see her again. The only way I see her again is if I see her in heaven.
In Powell County, Caitlin Sentner, WKYT.
Hunt is in the Three Forks jail in Lee County. We have new information tonight about a shooting in Lexington. Police have arrested the man they say shot his cousin. 26-year-old Anthony Beard Jr. is charged with assault and burglary. Police say the shooting happened inside a home on Jackson Street. They believe Beard busted into the house with a handgun, got into an argument with his 23-year-old cousin, and then shot him once in both legs and twice in one arm. Police say a bullet also grazed the victim's stomach. Neighbors told us they watched Beard run away after the shooting. The victim went to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. The state police are looking for 2 teenagers missing in Rowan County. Troopers say 2 girls walked away from Sunrise Foster Care in Moorhead August 18th. 17-year-old Brianna Gregory, the girl on the left side of your screen, is from Kenton County. She was last seen wearing a blue shirt, gray pants, and dark-colored sweatshirt. Troopers believe she's with 15-year-old Layla Hood from Powell County. She was last seen wearing a pink sweatshirt and black leggings. Investigators are also looking for a man who walked away from Blackburn Correctional Complex this morning. Leaders there say 41-year-old Lewis Stokes escaped around 8:15. He was serving a 37-year sentence out of Henderson County for receiving stolen property. Stokes would have been eligible for parole in April 2018. He is 5 feet 11 inches tall, 185 pounds, with brown hair and green eyes. University of Kentucky police arrested a man they say was trying to sell stolen textbooks to a bookstore. Investigators say 30-year-old Anthony Shields broke into offices on UK's campus and stole textbooks. Police caught Shields when he tried to sell a stolen Western Kentucky University textbook at a UK campus bookstore. Shields does not have any affiliation with UK. Police believe he's connected to textbook thefts at Morehead State, EKU, and WKU.
One of the things that we found out also is he's actually sold some of the books in different states, as far as Birmingham, Alabama. So we're tracking all this down. It's continuing to unfold as we go.
When officers arrested Shields, they found a tire iron in his car. They believe he used it to break into the College of Nursing offices. Shields is charged with third-degree burglary and possession of burglary tools. A congregation found a way today to replace messages of hate with words of love. Saturday morning, someone spray-painted graffiti on the front doors and sidewalk of St. Michael's Episcopal Church in Lexington. Parishioners cleaned up the mess, and Pastor Lori Brock talked about what happened during today's service.
When people send out into the world hate and violence, our responsibility is to respond with love. Teenage boys are not the only ones who can graffiti things.
Brock invited the entire congregation outside after service. Using sidewalk chalk, they wrote their own messages of love. Donations for flood victims in Louisiana have been pouring into the state. A group in Harrison County wants to make sure everyone is getting help. Helping Hounds Find Homes in Cynthiana is collecting supplies for animals who lost their shelters in the floodwaters. WKYT's Sabir Rayford caught up with the group.
They are on a mission
We're bringing as many supplies as we can.
to help the four-legged flood victims who can't help themselves.
My sister is at Baton Rouge, and she's actually working one of these shelters, and they have been working around the clock on animals that have been standing in the water. They have cellulitis, bloat in their legs. The livestock animals are really in very poor shape and desperately need our help.
And they are giving them just that. The Cynthiana group has already sent down a truckload of supplies to the Lamar Dixon Expo Center, where over 1,000 animals are being cared for. The group plans to take another truckload of supplies this Wednesday.
We're not in the situation right now to where we need the overabundance of supplies. We have enough supplies around here. Our hay grows really well. Our grain grows really well. We have enough to give away. And what happens if a flood happens here and we don't? We would want other people to come and help us.
Starting on Monday, Southern States here in Cynthiana will be accepting donations for the trip. The group says support from the community has been overwhelming.
We have farmers that are feeling the need to respond because Cynthiana was in the flood of 1997 and we were devastated, and this is our way to give back for all of the people that helped us 20 years ago.
And their plan is to keep giving back.
I think we're going to continue to make trips down there and take it to the animals until they don't need our support anymore.
Sabir Rayford, WKYT.
We have a list of what the group needs on our website, WKYT.com. A Knox County woman is helping with flood cleanup efforts too. Laura Rose grew up in East Baton Rouge Parish. She says her loved ones there have been asking her for help. She's collecting supplies to help them with cleanup, and she's asking the community for donations too. She says she's grateful to live in such a generous area.
I mean, I might be from Baton Rouge, and that's my hometown, but this week I've definitely learned I wouldn't want to live anywhere else.
Laura is sending supplies with her husband and father. They leave for Baton Rouge Monday. In eastern Kentucky, Animal Shelter has been scrambling to get all the animals inside out. Last month, the shelter in Martin County learned there was toxic mold growing on their ceiling. To remove the mold, all animals need to get out. All but 2 of the dogs are now in outdoor kennels away from the building. Volunteers turned to social media to find homes for the remaining 17 cats.
Veterinary students from Lincoln Memorial University in Virginia are taking them.
It's like a weight being lifted off of our shoulders, and these animals can literally breathe better now. They breathe easier. They're going to be happy, healthy in homes. They can get the medication that they need.
Volunteers are raising money this week to buy more outdoor kennels for the dogs still inside the shelter. 10 sick cats still at the shelter are going to foster homes later this week. Once all the animals are out, crews can remove the mold. Still ahead, the National Weather Service takes a look at storm damage in western Kentucky. What they say ripped the roof off this barn. And did you have plans to see a movie at Movie Tavern? Well, you aren't alone there. What management had to say about a closing.
Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with meteorologist Jim Caldwell.
We are on the backside of a cold front, and let me tell you, it is a really nice place to be because everything has changed compared to where we were. This time last night, we were still tracking showers and thunderstorms, and they didn't completely wrap up until early this morning. Right now in Lexington, I can see all the way back toward downtown, and things are quiet. 67 degrees, feels like temperature at 67. This is some pretty comfortable stuff. We're getting that northwest wind in here around 5 miles per hour. The speed doesn't matter. It's just the fact of the location, and it's coming in from a drier source. So things are shaping up to start out for the new work week quite nicely. 61 already showing up into Mount Sterling, 65 into London. You get the general idea. 60s common throughout the entire area. Overnight, likely into the 50s. So when you wake up in the morning or somewhere thereabouts, you're going to be running into the 50s. Defender Radar Network has been pretty quiet since this afternoon. We had a few lingering showers into eastern Kentucky, but here in central Kentucky, it was all gone much earlier. Our muggy meter does have a little hint trying to show up, and we show you a 3-day run of it. Monday, Tuesday are both fine. You're barely going to notice the fact that there's any moisture in the air at all. But Wednesday, you'll be like, huh, yeah, I can feel that. It's here. So here's what happens. We get a big push of it coming our way. We're briefly flirting with fall. This air mass, and that's what we're tracking here, is just plain old dry air. Very comfortable stuff. We go through your Tuesday, and again, Tuesday evening. It's fine around here, very comfortable, but you can see that tropical air mass. Everywhere you see the yellow and those dark greens, that is when the big push of muggy and tropical air will get in here late Wednesday, and that's also going to feed some of our showers and even our thunderstorm chances as we move forward as well. Let's take you into the future. Area of high pressure helping keep all of us nice and dry, by the way, at least temporarily. High will slip off toward the east. When that happens, this is normal. When that happens, it'll pump in more of a southerly wind and eventually a southwesterly wind, and that's where you get more of that moisture. We're at noon on Wednesday, and you can see some showers and thunderstorms trying to come together, just a few scattered across parts of Kentucky at noon. Then they'll get a little bit thicker, though, as we progress into the evening and into the overnight hours, and that's why you'll have better chances Thursday and Friday. And these chances aren't off the charts, but we'll certainly have some in the area with temperatures back up at least a little bit. And the other issue is, even though the temperatures are down, it's going to be humid again, so it's going to make it feel a little worse, a little sticky. So enjoy this little fling with fall, because it will not last. Just a tease. That's all fall is right now.
I'm just going to be optimistic and think next week, same thing.
Just keep it right there.
Nice cooler weather, low humidity.
It'll make you happier.
I'm thinking positive.
That's what I want you to do.
The National Weather Service spent part of today getting a good look at storm damage in Barron County. They say an EF0 tornado touched down last night just south of Glasgow. The storm tore part of a roof off a barn and knocked over trees. No one was hurt. After the break, we are almost 2 months away from the presidential election. One candidate is trying to change his image. The latest campaign 2016 headlines are next. Tuesday night's Mega Millions jackpot is $69 million, and Wednesday night's Powerball jackpot is $127 million. We are now 78 days away from the presidential election. A new CBS News poll shows Hillary Clinton is gaining ground in Ohio. Donald Trump is trying to present a new image to voters. CBS News correspondent Wendy Gillette reports from New York.
On November 8th, you've got to get out and vote, right?
Top Republican officials say Donald Trump is back on track after a series of controversies.
I think he's shown maturity. I think that he's growing in his role. He's a person who's never run for public office.
Polls tell the tale of a Trump campaign that has faltered. Hillary Clinton is now leading Trump nationally by at least 5 points. A CBS News Battleground Tracker poll shows Clinton has extended her lead in Ohio to 6 points, improving 2 points since July. In Iowa, the candidates are even at 40% apiece, the only state with recent polling that doesn't show Clinton leading. Trump's new campaign manager, Kellyanne Conway, says voters are seeing a more focused candidate.
This was the best week, I think, so far in the Trump campaign, mostly because he's able to be himself, the authentic Donald Trump, but also the pivot that he's made is on substance.
Clinton's team disagreed with the claim.
We're not seeing a pivot. Donald Trump himself said this was not a pivot.
Trump announced his first ad buy of the campaign. In terms of raising money, Clinton is far ahead, raking in a total of $326 million since 2015, more than twice of what Trump has brought in. Clinton spent the weekend fundraising in Massachusetts and will hold more finance events Monday in California. Wendy Gillette for CBS News, New York.
Trump's team says they are still deciding whether they'll accept the debate schedule laid out for the fall. Clinton's team says it's time to agree to one and move on. Monday is the first day of school in Miami, Florida, where there are growing Zika concerns. Health leaders are keeping an eye on 2 designated Zika zones. 8,000 students will be attending school in those zones. The superintendent of schools considered relocating the students. Instead, district leaders will hand out protective clothing, long sleeves and pants for students who need them. They will also give out bug repellent. 36 people in the 2 zones have Zika. Crews were out on Nicholasville Road today rewiring the lights at the Man of War Boulevard intersection. They say the work is supposed to help ease drivers' headaches, especially when construction on the new Summit Shopping Center is complete. Officers spent the day directing traffic. All the work was supposed to be done last week, but wet weather postponed plans. If you bought tickets to a movie at Movie Tavern today, you probably didn't get in. We spotted this sign outside of the theater in Brandon Crossing saying they were closed due to conditions beyond their control. Our calls to the theater weren't returned. If you had tickets for any showings today, Tavern management asked that you contact them tomorrow. Lee Kay's in next with sports. A former Wildcat is coming home to the States with a gold medal.
He is DeMarcus Cousins, and Team USA claiming gold this afternoon at Rio. It was a big game for Boogie, and the Wildcats continue to look for depth from their second and third team players. We'll talk about that next in sports. Well, the Associated Press released its first preseason top 25 college football poll this afternoon, and it includes 5 teams on Kentucky's schedule. Here's a look at the poll. UK's opponents here are highlighted in yellow. Defending national champion Alabama is the #1 overall team in the AP poll, followed by Clemson, Oklahoma, Florida State, and LSU in the top 5. Ohio State, Michigan, Stanford, Tennessee, Notre Dame round out the top 10. You see Louisville over there checking in at number 19. Other SEC teams making the list include Ole Miss at number 11, Georgia at 18, and Florida checking in at 25. Mark Stoops had mixed emotions following Saturday's second and final scrimmage of the preseason camp. On one hand, he applauded the big plays made by a few of his starters, but he continued to voice his concern regarding the depth of his team, particularly at the defensive line and linebacker positions. Stoops wants to see improvement from his second and third units.
When you're in a scrimmage like this and you're looking at every player and you're looking at 105 guys, it has a tendency to get a little sloppy with the 2s and the 3s, and that kind of puts a sour taste in your mouth because we need everybody. We need them to play at a high level, and we're not overly deep at certain positions, and that still looks ugly at times, and that's where we need to make the biggest jump in the next 2 weeks.
The NFL season is just a few weeks out. The Bengals are 2 games into their preseason schedule. Today, the team took their show on the road for practice at West Carrollton High School up in Dayton, in front of about 6,000 screaming fans. Marvin Lewis said the reason for the practice in Dayton is to make his team get out of their routine and take them out of their comfort zone.
It's good to come up here. It's good to practice a different spot. And, you know, a lot of things, sometimes things change on the in the schedule and so forth, and we have to adjust, and guys have to be able to come out and focus and go to work and do their thing, get their job done, do it right, execute right, and it's good to have these opportunities at times.
Speaking of Cincinnati, the Reds hosting the Dodgers. First inning, Chase Utley leading off, and he takes Anthony Desclafini deep and gone. That's a solo shot, his 11th of the season. Dodgers up 1-0. Third inning, same score. Top of the Dodgers order doing some more damage. First, Utley singles. Andrew Toll scores. It's 2-0 Dodgers. Next batter, Corey Seager rips a single. That'll bring home Utley. Dodgers up 3-0. Bottom of the 7th, runners on the corners for the Reds. And former Kentucky Wildcat Joe Blanton strikes out Joey Votto to end the Reds' best scoring opportunity. Reds shut out by the Dodgers by the final of 4-0. Legends rained out last night, playing a doubleheader against Hagerstown this afternoon. Lexington won the first game 1-0. The offense really came to life here in the second inning. Roman Collins gets all of this one and then some onto the roof of the Pepsi party deck and right for the first run of the game. Still in the first inning, Colton Fabicilio singles on a ground ball to center. That one gets through and allows Xavier Fernandez to score. Great day to be a legend as they get the win 8-2 to take a 2-1 series lead. This is the time of year it's getting exciting, Kristen. Baseball season's kind of nearing the end. Football season, of course, is ramping up, and I mean it's getting busy.
Pretty soon we'll be talking about basketball.
I know. I mean,
season.
don't talk about that just yet. It's busy enough right now, but you're right.
You got
October,
enough to
November,
handle.
basketball season gets underway too.
We'll be right back with a final look at weather. You ready for a nice day tomorrow?
I am ready for 2 nice days. Not tomorrow, because that's only one day, but Monday and Tuesday both looking really nice and comfortable around here. Highs in the upper 70s, low 80s, and the most important thing that you're going to find, and you don't really see it in that forecast because I can't say it because I'm running out of room, low humidity both days. It's going to be very pleasant to get out and do some yard work that you might not have been able to do because it's been so wet. I know that my yard looks like the Amazon right now because I can't mow it because it's still wet, but I'm going to get to it.
You got a chance tomorrow.
And if you want some more practice, you can come over to our house.
You know what? Just because I like you, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to let you do it and get exercise.
Fair enough.
Our next newscast is at 4:30 a.m. Have a good night.